Hi guys, welcome back to Style with Substance and welcome to my guide on how to start a YouTube channel. I know I do get a lot of questions from you guys, my subscribers, about how I started my channel, what made me want to start, how to, build an audience, etc. So I thought, what better video to film than this? So I'm just going to be running through my guide on really getting your channel started, if that's something that you're really interested in, and I hope you find it helpful. I will make one request before I start the video though. If you guys can share this video with as many people as possible, that would be really, really helpful. Otherwise, let's get started. So the first tip that I have in terms of starting a YouTube channel is, what is your content going to be? And that's a question to ask yourself. What are you going to talk about? I would always say that if you want to start a channel or start a blog or start doing something, pursuing something, it's got to be something you're passionate about, and it's got to be an area where you feel like you have something really meaningful to say. And meaningful doesn't necessarily need to be some new information that you're bringing to people. It could just be something that relates to you, or sharing your story, or sharing your life, or your passions, or your ideas, or whatever it is. It's just got to be genuine and meaningful. And that is essentially what would give you the idea for your content. I think that we can all get really excited in the early phases of starting a channel and feel really enthusiastic about getting it going, and in those first few weeks you'll find you have the most momentum and you're just like go, 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 and then you kind of hit a point where you're like, you either plateau off or you just keep going. So it's not always fun the whole way through, which is why it's so important to pick a topic that you're really passionate about and make that your focus for your channel. So you're going to get distracted by loads of other different things that you can talk about, and it's important to keep an eye on those things, but at the same time you want to focus in on what you are passionate about and what made you start your channel in the first place. So what your content is going to be is very important for the longevity of your channel, because that's going to be what people keep coming back for. So really have a think about that and decide on it. And it could be more than one thing, so it can be 3 things, whether that's fashion, beauty, motivational stuff. Just pick your focus area, and that is essentially the best way to get started. The second thing is to have something to film on. And I always try to start with a really practical tip, because I think you need something to film on, otherwise you're not going to be able to get your content out there. I went all the way in and I took the plunge, and I basically picked up a Canon 700D camera because I wanted to start with really good quality videos from the outset without needing to kind of upgrade later on. I wanted to start with a camera that I knew I could have for a very long time. And a lot of YouTubers that I know of had this camera, and I was like, well, right, I want to be like them in terms of, I want my channel to grow to that level, so I need to have my content start at a level where it's really impressive and people are like, oh right, okay, clearly this is somebody to pay attention to. So I started with the Canon 700D, which I think is also known as the Canon T3i Rebel or something like that, but I would say Canon is a pretty good brand for cameras. Sony is another really good brand, and the Olympus pen I know is quite heralded in the vlogger community. Those are the 3 that I know of, but by all means there's obviously Nikon, Panasonic, all sorts of other camera brands and tech brands that you can start with if you want that professional look and feel. If you really just want to dip your toe in and kind of experiment, and you don't really have the money to invest in a really good camera, start with your webcam, start with a digital camera that you have, start with your iPhone. I used to vlog and do all my vlogs on my iPhone 6S Plus. Quality was not amazing by any means, but it was decent enough to put up on YouTube. So you might actually have the tools that you need to get started in your possession right now. So by all means, if getting started is the key for you and you want to strike while the iron's hot, just use whatever. Use your webcam, use your phone, use a digital camera. But I think if you want that professional sort of quality look, then you're going to have to invest a bit of money. Now you could be looking, I think, from about £400 upwards really, so it's up to you how much you're willing to invest in it. And I would say that if you're the kind of person that starts something and wants to get an idea of it before they fully invest in it, start small, start with your camera, and see how you get on. And if you get into a really good rhythm and you think, okay, yeah, this is really for me, then invest in a really decent camera. Because what you don't want to do is spend all that money on a camera and then never really use it. Do you know what I mean? Tip number 3 is you need to set up your YouTube channel. I think YouTube works with a Google account, so you need to have a Google account, whether that's a Gmail or whatever. Set one up and then you can set your YouTube channel up from there. And I would recommend branding yourself from the get-go. So thinking about what your brand is going to be, so whether you're going to have a logo or not, whether you're going to have a tagline, and create some channel artwork. When I started, I had my brother make up the Star with Substance logo for me, and it was really simple. It was just the 2 S's, Star with Substance, and that was my brand. I thought about it for a while, and I always knew that I wanted to combine an element of fashion, beauty, lifestyle, all that kind of stuff, so style, with some really inspirational type topics, things about books, things about marketing, things about personal development, the law of attraction, all sorts of other stuff. I felt like I wanted to have 2 facets to my channel, so that's where the name Star with Substance came up. So your channel name, and I think that's a big part of the brand, should be something that resonates with you. So whether that's your name, something simple as your name, so my sister's YouTube channel is Leonie Joyce, for example, and loads of other YouTubers just use their name as their YouTube channel. I also changed my social media accounts to match that, so I changed my Twitter and my Instagram, and very recently I changed my Snapchat to SWS Blog. So it's SWS Blog across all my social channels if you kind of want to interact with me there. But I did that because I wanted people to not have to really think about it if they're going to try and find me somewhere else. I also have a blog or website, which is starwithsubstanceblog.com, and as you can see, there's a common theme running through that. So brand yourself, set up your channel on YouTube, create your channel artwork, so your banner, your channel banner, which sits on your homepage, and fill out all the boxes. And you can change that as often as you want, and I would recommend putting in keywords for the types of things that your channel will talk about in that description. Link all your social channels to that as well, and then you're essentially ready to get set and go and upload your first video. So that brings me to my 3rd tip. So we've talked about content, we've talked about camera, we've talked about setting up your channel. So the 4th thing is really going to be about lighting, because I think you can have the best camera in the world, but if you have really shocking lighting, it could totally ruin things for you. Now, me personally, I prefer the look of natural daylight, because nothing shines the light back onto your face like just daytime, essentially. So I try to film during the day, anytime between the hours of 10 to about 2, because I find that that's when the light's the best. Between 12 and 1, it does kind of come in and out, and you'll get like a yellow hue on your face while the sun is rising and setting. But anytime between 10 and 12 is actually probably the best light I'll get. And then there'll be some really good light between 1 and 2 as well. Now, in the winter months, it's a bit trickier to use natural light, but you've just got to commit to it if that's the look and feel you want, and that's what I prefer. I've tried to film using studio lights, but I do find that they tend to throw a yellow and very bright, shiny light on my face, which I don't think looks authentic. So I tend to avoid studio lights, but that might be the look and feel that you like. And I think if you're going to get studio lights, the best light, particularly if you're into beauty videos or, you know, you kind of really want to shine a glow on your face, is a ring light. And you can get loads of these from Amazon. I think there's like a standard one that all the YouTubers get. If you want to know, then leave a comment and I'll send you a link to one I think might be good. I've never bought a ring light myself, because once I discovered that natural light was the look I wanted to go for, it was kind of no going back from there. The 5th thing is your background. Now, as shallow as that sounds, your background sometimes forms part of your thumbnail, unless you're kind of totally designing that in a different software. But your background is key, because that will be the environment that people know for you to film. So I always say make your background inviting, and make it as inviting as you would if you were having guests coming over and you wanted to have a chat with them. And that's what I see YouTube being about. It's like having a chat with a close group of friends, in my case 7,500 at the time of filming, and you want the background to be inviting, you want them to feel at ease, you want them to feel like they're in your living room or your, you know, bedroom or whatever, and you're just having a lovely chat. Now, when I first started out, I had my previous house, I had like cream walls, and I didn't really have much to work with, so I just got a desk, which is this one over here, and I put that flower on there, my jewellery box, some other candles, and then on the other side I had like a mirror and some other bits and bobs. So just little trinkets that make it a bit more personal, so people get an idea as to your personality from them, but also make it look like it has to relate to the content you're filming. So if you're filming a video about tech, have some tech in the background. If your video is going to be about fashion or lifestyle, have some, you know, clothing pieces in the background, have some nice interior decor bits. If it's going to be predominantly clothes and beauty and makeup, have that in the background. Give people an idea as to what you're about. My background now is very much a symbol of what represents me. So as you can tell, my favourite colours at the moment, or the colour palette I really like, is grey, white and silver. So my background will very much consist of that, and I'm quite into interior design at the moment. Much as I don't film a lot of videos about it, I feel like it falls into the kind of lifestyle theme, so I wanted to make my filming room as much a picture of that as I could as possible. So Prada, I've got the Prada Martha sign there because, well, I mean, I think we've all seen this sign in Gossip Girl, but mostly because I am into luxury and high-end items. I don't purchase them that much, but I very much enjoy looking at them. My sunglasses are actually Prada as well, which helps. I've got the sitting Buddha and the Buddha head down there, and then I've got a candle there because I'm really into candles. I'm really into some of what Buddhism represents, so I quite like the look and feel of those things. I've got a mirror over there because I do post a lot of my outfit of the day pics there, and this is half a fashion channel, and then just some more trinkets here and there. So I feel like this, oh, and it's all grey. So I feel like this is a very good representation of me and who I am and what kind of videos I produce. And I feel like it's kind of warm, it's kind of inviting, you know, you feel like you could grab a cup of tea or a little snack and we could sit here and chat, and it's all quite chilled and quite casual like that. And I would say that the final thing, which is totally unsuperficial and totally unrelated to everything I've been talking about, is you and how you come across on camera. Now, it's going to be a really big adjustment if you've never done a lot of public speaking before. It's really weird to sit in a quiet room and talk to a camera, especially if you are in front of a window and there are people outside looking in. They're going to think you're absolutely nuts. Luckily, my window to the filming room is at the back of the house, so nobody can see me. But it takes a lot of getting used to, and if you are not a big talker or a big public speaker, you will find it quite weird to talk uninterrupted. To me, it wasn't a huge adjustment because actually I have always been quite a bit of a listener, so I didn't realise how much I had to say until I sat in front of the camera and started blabbing. But how you come across on camera is also really important, and I would say some of my top tips for coming across well on camera is to make sure your posture's right. Now, it depends on what kind of video you're filming. You know, if you're filming a really relaxed video and you want to be sat like this, or you want to kind of be over, like, leaning a little bit, you know, you want to be a bit more chilled, then that's fine. But I tend to find that my best videos are when I'm sitting up and I am dead on to the camera. The other thing, if you have a camera with a flip out screen, is that you're going to be tempted to look in the flip out screen. One, to check that you're in focus, which I do a lot, but two, because you can see your picture there in the screen. But it's so important to look dead onto the lens, and I hope I've been doing that this whole video, otherwise I'm totally going against my own advice. And really make eye contact with the lens, because if you make eye contact with the lens, you're making eye contact with your viewers and the people who will watch your videos eventually. And then you kind of want to come across like you're really enthusiastic. Things to help with that are smile, use your eyes a lot if you're talking. I like to use my hands as well and point to stuff because I'm just very expressive like that. But ultimately, you just want to come across as really warm and really friendly so that people can feel relaxed and feel at ease. And I think they're probably more likely to focus on what you're saying if you do come across like somebody who's just really at ease and just really comfortable with what they're doing. I think what also goes along with that is just to be yourself. As much as I can sit here and say, yeah, you've got to be really engaging, you've got to be really smiley, you've got to be really friendly, if that is not you, people will see right through it. So the most important thing is to come on here and be yourself. If you're not a smiley person, don't try and force it really. I'd say try and get in front of the camera when you're feeling your happiest. That'll be what comes across. But at the same time, don't feel the pressure to be like everybody else on YouTube, and you don't have to be really funny or really like charismatic in that way. Just be yourself, and the people who subscribe to your channel will be subscribing because of you and your personality and something that they identify with in you, rather than people come to your channel for the first time because you have put on a certain facade and then all of a sudden you're kind of slipping back into your natural habits and they're like, hold on, that's not what you've always been like. And then you kind of get all the comments like, oh, she's changed, you've changed, etc, etc. So yeah, be yourself and everything else will fall into place. But otherwise, you've just got to get started. As much as you might not have all the equipment and everything you need to get going, there are people filming. Yeah, I think when YouTube started, people would film sat in front of their bed, you know, put their webcam up or put it up on their desk. It's really basic. It's just about connecting with people. That's all you have to do. And as long as you've got a way to get some video footage out there, then you're good to go. The other thing I didn't cover was editing software. I use iMovie because that came with my MacBook Pro, then now iMac. But there's so much other editing software like Final Cut Pro, Sony Vegas, and those are like, I think those are the ones that you would tend to use if you're a bit more advanced. I think Final Cut, the newer versions, are a bit more user-friendly, but there's also Windows Movie Maker, which is the most basic form of video editing software, I would say. I haven't used the newer version, so I can't really comment fully on that, but that's what I started with, and then I moved to iMovie when I got my Mac, which is really easy to use. So if you have a Mac, I'd recommend that. But I believe you can also edit videos in YouTube when you upload them in the Creator Studio. So check that out. If you don't have access to editing software but you really want to get videos out, don't edit them. Just sit in front of the camera and film something that you're really proud of and put it up. It can be as raw or as uncut as you want it to be. I only edit my videos because I say a lot, and I tend to want to cut that out so that people can get to the crux of what I'm saying quicker. But also because I might pause or go and do something else in between filming a video, or I might be playing with my hair or readjusting things. But if you don't care and you just want to get your message out there, then just upload it straight away. It doesn't even really need editing. So that is everything, I think, on how to start a YouTube channel. If I've missed anything out, or if there is something that you wanted me to cover, then please comment down below. And as I said again, share this video. I think there are so many people who could benefit from being on a platform like this, or so many people that have so much to give, so much information, so much knowledge, so much intellect to share. I think I found my voice on YouTube, so I would really encourage you, if you are somebody who struggles with speaking or vocalizing what's in your mind, this is a great way to really practice that. I hope you guys have found this video helpful, and leave me any questions down below. But otherwise, please do subscribe for 3 videos a week on a Tuesday, Thursday and a Sunday, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!